Sir, you're on mute.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes, yes.
Good evening, everyone. Indeed, a fantastic evening to join together today with Tanzania chapter, Dar es Salaam chapter of Tanzania, and ICI. And I first of all welcome Mr. Pius, Executive Director of NBAA Tanzania, along with the Chairman of Dar es Salaam chapter, Mr. Dharmendra ji. Welcome to you for this interesting program which is being scheduled today. And I think this is one of its kind. We have done similar kind of programs with only one international chapter, and you are the second one to do.
It's our pleasure,
Friends,
sir.
this is always a pleasure. With us, we have Preeti, who is going to moderate the entire program. We also have Dhaval and Rishir, who are the experts in the subject and who are going to take the session forward. But before we go forward, and I hand over the discussion to Preeti, let me just tell you one fact. Today, with the kind of advent of AI and the way the things are getting adopted at a national and international level, it is unmatchable. And every day, there is a new transformation which is coming. Considering this factor, ICI has put its best efforts over a period of time to focus on how AI can be embedded in people's mind to ensure that they work day in, day out with adoption of AI. Friends, we are going to be shortly joined by our chairman AI, Mr. Umesh Sharma. And in the meantime, just let me tell you certain interesting facts. Over this last 1 year, we have actually trained close to, I think this will be a world record if we go for a world record. Mr. Pius, this is worth noting point. In last 300 days, we have trained close to 12,000 plus people on a physical mode where they were sitting with their computers and they got hands-on training for 3 days certification course. Equally, the kind of adoption we have done by introducing the concept of CA-GPT is unmatchable in the world. Considering these two factors, we have conducted multiple workshops, seminars, lot of events have been planned, and one more event is shortly being planned in the month of July, where we will request you all people to participate in a larger manner. But yes, Dharmendra ji, your interest with regards to Tanzania chapter and primarily focusing on fundamentals of AI, ML, and CA-GPT, or rather, I'll put it as GPT. When we started talking to people what AI is, people used to just say one thing, that is, it's Chat GPT. So
True.
people, that was a kind of like, people don't say photocopying machine. They say Xerox. Get me a Xerox of this. So similarly, when we talk about AI, the fact was people were talking about Chat GPT or many such tools which were there. But these two people who are there with us today are going to take you through the entire fundamental journey of this AI and ML learning. What is important to know? We are not going to talk all Greek, Latin, and which whether we understand or not. What I should know is I should know what I can use. And in today's world, it is no coding, no programming. But what you should be knowing is which tool I should be using for making my life simple and adopt AI to a practical level. When we talk about such kind of scenario, we have taken this cognizance that people understand low. When people talk about systems audit, it is they think that we need to get into the system and do it. But the fact is, it is more of a process-driven approach. Similarly, in case of AI adoption, what you should know is what are the fundamental language which is being used in AI ML, which is only for a theoretical discussion, and what is the practical use of it. Nothing beyond this. But the second point is how this can be adopted in our entire ecosystem is something which we need to really look into and see if this session gets over, will you be in position to confidently open any app of AI and start using? So the focus this time is going to be on the fundamentals. And going forward, if you all like this session, we will continue with little advanced sessions in time to come. With this, let me just hand over the discussion to Rishi or Preeti, who is going to take it forward. I don't know, Preeti, if you are going to take it forward. You are most welcome on the screen and look forward for your participation. Thank you all.
Thank you so
And
much.
one quick thing, Mr. Umesh Sharma, who is the chairman of AI, is in flight at this point in time. He may join in between by the time Mr. Payas and Dharmenji address for some time, and then the session will start. Right? So
Yes.
over to you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful insight. Obviously, the ICAI is going to take this AI to the very next level, and this is a next step towards it because we are going to combine it with the Tanzania chapter. Thank you so much, sir. Now it's my honor to invite the dynamic leader of our profession, and I like to invite CPA Pius Menon, sir, to have a few words with us.
Okay, thank you so much, Pretty. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes, yes.
Okay. CA Dennis Sharma, the Vice Chairman of IA in ICAI. CA is Amanda Kumala Agla, the Chairman of ICAI Dar es Salaam Chapter. Distinguished speakers, distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to all. It's my pleasure to note that Dar es Salaam Chapter of ICAI and NBAA has organized this international joint webinar today on artificial intelligence. First of all, let me take this opportunity to congratulate ICAI leadership for being chosen to lead the Institute for this year, from this year, 2025. The Institute is now led by CA Charanong Singh Nanda and the president of ICAI, together with his team. This shows trust ICAI members have on you. I wish you the best. The topics and the speakers selected by organizers are excellent, I've seen, and shall provide a great experience to the delegates. I wish a very successful webinar. Considering the importance of the event, ICAI has extended the invitation to NBA members to take advantage of this international webinar on artificial intelligence for the development of the profession in our country and beyond. This will serve towards the achievement of our objective in our memorandum of understanding between NBAA, the Institute in Tanzania, and ICAI. 10 years period from that time, the chapter has been in Tanzania is characterized by committed leadership, team working spirit, and devotion. ICAI leadership in Tanzania and its members have been working tirelessly and close with NBAA, focusing on promotion of the accountants profession in two partners countries. NBA acknowledges the outstanding efforts from ICAI leaders and members for making the best efforts for the betterment of the accountants profession in Tanzania. Since signing of the MOU in 2018, we've been able to work closely with the aim of enhancing knowledge and skills of upcoming the generation of the accountants professionals. NBAA, as a regulator of the profession in Tanzania, has been working very closely with the sister bodies regionally and internationally in the efforts of promoting and spearheading the development of the accountants profession in the country. NBAA will continue to honor its collaboration with all sister bodies, including the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And this joint webinar conducted jointly between NBA and ICAI is on fundamentals of IA, machine learning, and CA GPT. It's also a great success, and I'm sure we shall work more and more towards the objective of the MOU to develop the profession in both countries. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been discussing about practical experience on newly qualified accountants in Tanzania, whereby we do not have articleship programs similar to the one ICAI is following. However, our program requires 3 years practical experience after passing the final examinations before granting the membership. This is somehow not giving a good experience to our newly qualified accountants. We had a discussion in this regard with ICAI Dar es Salaam chapter leadership. They have explained on how the articleship works in India, also briefed us about the residential program conducted in India for newly qualified accountants before granting the membership. Therefore, as a part of our MOU implementation, we shall forward a request to your good offices to provide guidance on this topic, and also possibility of conducting some short programs for our newly qualified accountants with the assistance from your esteemed institutions. Once again, my heartfelt congratulations and best wishes for the webinar, which will bring new outcome to our world. Thank you very much for listening. Back to you, Rishi, Preeti.
Thank you, Preeti. Just to take it on record that we have people joining from UK chapter as well as Doha chapter in this session, and I think a couple of them I'll be getting a short message from all the people, and we will acknowledge all our chapters internationally across. And Mr. Payas, I think we have close to 450 people online listening to this entire discussion. We're really thankful to all those people who have joined us today. So over to you, Preeti. Just wanted to acknowledge their presence, so I thought I'll just put a word.
Definitely, sir, because we are going to take it to the global level right now. And again, a special thanks to the Dharmendra Kumar Agarwal sir, Chairman ICAI Dar es Salaam Tanzania chapter, for leading this initiative and making a global collaboration possible. So over to you, sir. Please have a few words with us.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure to have this seminar and webinar for Dar es Salaam chapter as well as globally and jointly with Mr. Maneno to help us and to support them with our MOU partner to have benefited from our global body. So, dear esteemed guests, distinguished speakers and valued participants, a very warm welcome to all of you to the Global AI webinar on AI, fundamental of AI, machine learning and CA-GPT. We will not call ChatGPT, it is CA-GPT. Because we are focusing on professional mode. Hosted by the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, AI Committee. It is true privilege to have such a distinguished gathering as we come together to explore the dynamic world of artificial intelligence and its transformative impact on the accounting profession. We are deeply honored to be graced by the presence of our esteemed leaders. Hopefully, they will join in between Mr. Charanjot Singh Nanda, ICAI President, Mr. CA Prasanna Kumar D, Vice President of ICAI, CA Umesh Sharma, Chairman of the ICAI Committee, AI Committee, and CA Dayanivas Sharma ji, Vice Chairman of the ICAI AI Committee. It is also our distinct pleasure to welcome Mr. CPA Piyush Maneno, Executive Director of National Board of Accountant and Auditor, Tanzania. Thank you for joining us and sharing your insight from the international front. Today's session promised to be both enlightening and engaging, and we are fortunate to have two experts in the field to lead us through the discussion. CA Rashid Soni, who will delve into the strategic implication of the AI in accounting and finance. CA Dhaval Kodkar, who will take us through the practical application of AI in auditing and professional practice, including the other challenging areas. Together, we will explore how AI is reshaping our profession, enhancing decision-making and unlocking new possibilities for efficiency and growth. I encourage all to actively participate in the discussion as we learn from the wealth of knowledge that our speaker and panelists bring to the table today. Let us use this platform to foster collaboration and innovation as we embrace AI role in shaping the future of accounting. Once again, I welcome all of you and wish you insightful and productive webinar. And also, I welcome and appreciate other chapter and other international body also who is also participating actively to support this global and getting benefit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your words, sir. We are honored to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, professionals, AI is no longer a buzzword. It's a tool, it's a skill, it's a strategic asset. It's transforming how we audit, how we analyze the data, file the reports, and provide assurance. And with CA-GPT, you are bringing the AI to the fingerprints of every chartered accountant. This session is not only able to learn your two CPR structured arts, but importantly, give you a practical aspect and knowledge to the future. We are going to begin, and I hope All the participants will going to join us till the end and actively engage and make the most opportunity of it. Now I'm going to introduce our esteemed speakers with us, CA Rishi Sir Soni and Dhaval Sir. Welcome to the session, sir.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you.
CA Rishi Sir Soni sir is a qualified chartered accountant, has done LLB also, has done DISA also, and also to the surprising factor, he's a filmmaking New York Film Academy industry. He's a finalist as ICAI first hackathon and also a faculty member of AI Level 1 ICAI. He's also a practicing chartered accountant and independent filmmaker as well. To the surprise also, his a recent work is he has worked into a Crossroad, a short film, and officially nominated by Shorted India and currently streaming on a Shorted India platform. Welcome to the panel, sir.
Thank you.
Our second esteemed speaker is CA Dhaval Kodikal, a fellow chartered accountant with over a decade of experience working with leading chartered accountant firm and international KPO. He has gained extensive experience in financial reporting, audit automation, international taxation, finance, and account outsourcing. In his career, he has collaborated exclusively with international firms of chartered accountants, managing consultants, Big Fours, advising a selective portfolios of listed clients in India, UK, US in assurance, finance, business strategy, international taxation, Indian entry strategy, ERP evaluation and implementation. He's also presented an article on investment AI and is also a member of a AI hackathon used cases and Coffee with ChatGPT. Both are the speakers have an extensive and extreme knowledge of AI and they are expert in their own field. Both of them, I'll welcome to this our webinar, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Audience, we are going to start with our session. And most importantly, the most important factor is what is AI? And because we are not aware about it, what is AI and how are we going to adopt the AI into our life? So starting with our esteemed speaker, C.A. Rishi Dhoni, sir. Sir, what is AI all about?
Thank you. So let me start by simply saying in a single log line format that AI is what gives the machines the ability to think, learn from it, adapt from it without having a human being ask it every time. The basic difference between what machine learning and AI is essentially what normal traditional coding and AI is, pardon me, that traditional coding, there has to be some set of rules which some programmer will program, and then based on that, the operation will happen. Instead, in case of AI, what's happening is that you give the logic, you give the ability to think, learn, and adapt through the power of large language models. So here, what happens is just like artificial intelligence is simulating a human brain, especially in terms of computer systems. It enables them to learn, experience, adapt, and basically perform a number of tasks. And you can see on the slide also over here, the whole bubble of artificial intelligence which is there. It's divided into various parts and parcels. It all began with the basic artificial intelligence, which was able to think and mimic what humans might think. From there came the concept of machine learning. Machine learning, in essential, is, if I compare it with an easy example, if you store something on your computer, or let's say a flash drive or a pen drive, that file which is being stored there, the computer's only function is to store that file. It doesn't learn anything from it. It doesn't work on some other operations based on whatever is stored in there. But machine learning is one step ahead. Instead of just storing it over there, it also ensures that the machine is learning from it, learning from whatever data is there, and basically enabling us to take decisions faster. From that machine learning came the next era, which was of deep learning. Deep learning is essentially using neural languages, natural languages, and all these things, and essentially trying to have a machine decide in a way which humans do. So if you look at it gradually, started with normal storage device. From that data, machine learning is essentially doing some sort of an analysis and learning from that stored data. Deep learning is able to give us some sort of a predictive analysis or some sort of a result from whatever the machine learning has learned. And now, because of the power of generative AI, which is like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, we have Microsoft Copilot, and these n number of tools which are there. Because of these widely available tools, we are able to communicate with that AI technology at a more deeper level. And that's what's being possible through conversational AI and natural language processing. So I hope I'm clear about the basics of what artificial intelligence is. Right. Now, there are various concepts and types of artificial intelligence. So I think we can discuss it also in detail with our next speaker also. Yes.
Yes, sir, that was insightful, and we were not aware there are the artificial intelligence. There are the many stages also. So I don't know, okay, what are the stages and what are the kind of dimensions we all have. So Dhaval sir, what artificial intelligence? What are the stages are there in the artificial intelligence?
Yes, great. Thank you, Priti, and thank you, Rishi, for that quick introduction about what exactly is artificial intelligence. And see, when we are as a chartered accountant, being from a non-technology domain or being a CPA globally, since last 3 or 4 years, we all must be hearing a lot of news around happening around us that so many things are coming. The AI is going to take over our jobs. AI is going to do this. AI is going to do that. So there is kind of a FOMO that has also been there. And it is again an essential part for us to understand, first of all, the fundamentals of an AI, and also then bring in about our own flavor to it, that how an AI can be a tool for a chartered accountant or a CPA that can enable my practice, enable my office, enable my work in a much better way, faster way, rather than thinking from the point of view that maybe an AI is going to be replacing me or replacing my job. So first thing, we have to understand that with utmost clarity. Once we understand what exactly is AI and what exactly can AI do, then it's also important to understand right now what stage of an AI we are. Honestly, guys, we all must be thinking since last 2 or 3 or maximum 4 years, since 2021, when that chat GPT movement had happened, that maybe AI has started coming in our daily lives now. But honestly, AI as a term itself was coined in 1950s. So that has been the journey of an AI. It has always been there. It's just that we were not particularly focusing about, okay, this can be an AI or not. Just to give a small example, all of us, we have in our phone those Google Assistants, those Apple Siri, where we used to have those quick communication with them, or even in Alexa's, where we used to tell them some command, ask them to do some actions on behalf of us, and they used to perform those actions. So that in a form of a natural language processing, what we call it as a narrow AI, wherein what used to happen is, on a basic command that I perform, or the basic command that I give, a system or a machine or any program performs a specific task. That is clearly a weak AI form, which is again limited to the specific task. Then we are moving to around post 2021 2022 era, wherein all these LLM models, we're going to understand also what exactly is LLM model in a couple of minutes to come. But all these chat GPTs, Geminis, recently you all have heard about DeepSeek movement that had happened. Now we are talking about Manus movement that is happening. So we all are understanding that a huge level of models are coming up, with each model claiming higher level of inference, higher level of efficiency than the earlier one. So that is the era right now we are living in, wherein what we are talking about is an AI can do my generalized task as well, which is as good as us, but cannot beat us right now. But again, is it at 100% efficiency? Can a general AI or can a strong AI like a GPT or any other LLM model can replace a CPA or a chartered accountant? Guys, definitely no. Just take it as a thumb rule from my end, that a human intelligence will always prevail over the artificial intelligence. But yes, while we say that, there may be a time to come in future wherein the AI will become so much smart because of the amount of data is getting generated nowadays, and the amount of data which will be used to train those models further. There may be a time to come in future there wherein we may have a era wherein we call it as an AGI, or artificial super intelligent AI as well, which is maybe as good as us or can also beat us as well. Although right now we do not have any of such AI tools or AI model which is going to beat a human intelligence, but 100% in times to come, that is where the humanity's try would be to delegate or to automate so much of the task as any human being or any expert of any specific field would do. So with that, that's around a complete stages of AI. And right now, what we are at is basically the how the generalized models, how the LLM models are impacting our day-to-day life. And the entire theme of this presentation and webinar is to understand as a CPA how I can use those quick models for my practice area and enhance my practice, reduce my cost, and maybe increase my revenue and my profits as well. So I think with that, Preeti, we can go to more specific deep diving into what exactly is the large language model.
Sir, you said that artificial intelligence works on LLM models. So what
Yes.
this LLM models is all about, and how artificial intelligence is impacted with us? This is a question to you.
Right. So thank you. I'd like to take you back to the first slide again for a moment before we
Okay,
move ahead with the large language model.
sure.
So as I said earlier, and as Dhavalji also mentioned, that AI started from way back in 1950s, and it gradually evolved into what we have today as which we known as the generative AI, which is Chat GPT, Gemini, and all these tools. So as I said earlier in this particular slide, that what is enabling us as people to communicate with an AI is natural language processing, which is essentially having the machine learn our language and respond to us in our language only. But for any machine to do that, there has to be some brain power behind it, right? So we can think of a large language model like that of a brain power. So now if you look at the slide of the large language model, which we have mentioned here, that LLM is essentially an AI model which has been designed to process and generate human-like text. So this is again a part of that machine learning, deep learning, neural network, that area. And the basic type of LLM, as you can see on the screen also here, are general purpose LLMs, domain specifics, and multimodal. Right now, we have a lot of these LLMs which are multimodal LLMs. What it does, it not only enables us to generate text-based responses, but also images, videos, and all those things. You might have seen this, or you might have come across somewhere on the social media and all those places where a lot of these AI-generated videos and images are there. It might be some image of some celebrity or somebody. Now it's converted into a video and doing something funny and so basically the sky is the possible limit in this case. So essentially, in a word, an LLM is nothing but a brain behind a generative AI model which makes us interact with that GPT, and in response gives us either text, image, or any other kind of data which we might require from that. And you can see the general purpose LLM, which was earlier in the GPT-4, BERT, Llama, basically performing large language related task. You ask it to generate a report, it will give you a generated report. Then we came to domain specific LLMs, which was essentially specific to one particular domain, which will cover CA GPT and custom GPTs also. That's essentially limited to the expertise of one or two particular tasks like financial analysis and those kind of things. And the multimodal LLM is at the base of it all, enabling the GPTs or AI tools to generate text, data, image, and other multimedia. So yes, I think that pretty much sums up what LLM exactly is. It's the brain of that generative AI.
The AI, as you said, the AI was there in 1950s, right? The term generated in 1950s. But now, I guess in the month of July or August 2024, we have seen AI is everywhere. So AI is everywhere. That means now in the prominent area, prominent skill that we need to learn. But why we chartered accountants need to learn the AI skills, and what are the benefits of learning the AI for the chartered accountants?
Absolutely. So, Preeti, I think any technology that comes, maybe if I take you back to those computer eras or the cloud servers when it started in 90s, all the people around the service industry were thought of the same thing, that now all the paperwork is going to be replaced by the computers, and again a lot of things are going to be shaken up. So I think this is a more or less similar moment where the people are again thinking on the same perspective, that again now the AI has come up, AI is going to take up a lot of things, a lot of tasks will be done by the machine instead of human. So that is where I wanted to again touch base upon that how these LLMs, how these models, or how any of these AI tools working on any of those initial concepts that we have discussed in initial slide about deep learning, machine learning, conversational AI, generative AI, or even right now the thing which is going on is an operator AI. So how all of these tools are going to help me as a CPA to enhance my practice is the number one thing on priority list should be on any of the chartered accountant, any of the CPA around the globe. So when I say that it has to be on number one priority list, so which means what exactly is going to do for me? So see guys, number one thing which we all agree throughout the globe, we all always say that since last couple of years, there has always been the shortage of accountants, shortage of the interns, shortage of the staff at our CPA firms, at our accounting firms. So number one thing, a lot of time we have already resources that we have in our firm. Number one thing we should be focusing on is that how I can ensure to basically improvise that efficiency of my labor work, improvise the efficiency of my staff, my interns, and ensure that the similar limited set of number of people with the help of an AI tool can do the job of maybe 2x of the number of people that would do. Let's say if I were 10 people, 20 people, 30 people firm, how we can do the task of maybe 60 people, 50 people, twice the number of people I have. That's number one benefit that we should be able to focusing on, which means reducing the drafting work, reducing the manual work that are a lot of staff members spend a huge amount of time into that, automating a lot of research work, automating a lot of drafting work, reporting work. In that again gonna help in two ways. Number one, it's gonna definitely help in terms of getting my staff to prepare the work quickly. And for me as a reviewer or as a partner of a CPA firm, for me to review those tasks as well is going to reduce substantially because the quality of work that will be coming to me will be vetted by any of the AI model as well. That's number one. Number two, again, because a lot of time as a chartered accountant, we always think from the perspective that once that event happens, then only I'm going to do the audit. Once my financial year ends, then I'm going to do the audit. Rather than that, how I can devise a strategy which is going to be a completely led by an AI tools, which is going to be come into the place each day in, day out, each month in, month out, each throughout the period of my financial year. And instead of me figuring it out about a lot of issues at the end of financial year, I can at least figure out those issues in much in advance, at least not older than 30 days. So that would be some definitely an advantage for a CA to have. Apart from that, the AI does comes up with n number of capabilities, which in terms of drafting my reports, getting my auditing done, preparing my audit plans, helping me to do the tax computation, no matter what country of tax laws I'm talking about, no matter what type of complication of tax computation I'm talking about, how I can even get the AI tools to help me prepare a lot of financial presentations that I want to show it to the board members, to show it to my even an employer if I'm a CPA working in an industry. So these are all the AI tools which is going to definitely help us. It just as a CPA, I need to first understand basic thing, what all the AI tool I need to be using, what exactly is my objective. Because as soon as I have written down my problem statement, that this is what my problem statement is, trust me guys, 50% job is done there. Then all you have to figure it out is how I can figure it out an AI tool which solves my problem, which enhances my efficiency, my staff efficiency, and enhances my quality as well. So that is how our AI strategy, and that is how the benefits of the AI for a CPA would be. And now, just to give a quick glance through about how these AI tools are going to help all of us as well. We have also planned a small demos of a couple of tools as well, which is going to again very much relatable to all the CPAs around the globe, that how we can also implement those AI tools so that our work can be automated. So I think over to you, Preeti, and Rishi, we can head to the next session.
Definitely, sir. After the sharing, after hearing the benefits they have to shared, I would definitely say that it is much important, I guess, tool for a chartered accountants to learn on. But sir, I am a practicing chartered accountant, and many of the practicing chartered accountants are connected with us. After hearing the why this is beneficial, I think so. Now it's a point to shift to the aspect. Let us learn the practical exposure, how we are going to use it in our daily life, and how specifically in audits we are going to use the AI tools. So, Rishi sir, just help us out to give a elaborated experience and practical exposure how AI is going to help us in audits.
Right. Thank you. So, as practicing CPAs or even chartered accountants and other professionals across the world in the same domain, one of our core areas of practice is auditing. right? So we have a lot of review related work, audit related work. We have to ensure that the financials are free from material misstatements and all those things are there. But along with that, there is also responsibility for documentation of that audit process. So due to the paucity of the time also, we'll be covering an entire audit procedure, basically the planning related portion, the drafting related portion, and the reporting related portion for now. So if I would just share my screen and I'll just share it with you. I just need a moment. Right. So I hope the screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So friends, let me just introduce you to the entire domain of Chat GPT, which we'll be using today. What Chat GPT does is just an AI tool, which is there. And we'll be using, okay, I think the screen got lost somewhere. Just give me a moment. Share it again. All right. So it's visible now, I hope.
Yes, sir, visible.
All right. So this is the dashboard of ChatGPT. It's from the company called OpenAI, and it's just an AI tool. There are multiple AI tools like these. Like we have Google's Gemini, which I've opened over here. Similarly, we have Anthropic, which is a company again, and they have their own tool called Claude AI. And we have Microsoft Copilot and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of tools which you can select as per your preferences, as per your experience with them, past experience with them, and then definitely you can go ahead with that. So right now, what we're going to do here is, this is the new chat. And I would like to perform a mock audit using ChatGPT. Again, clarifying that we'll not be performing an actual transaction-based audit or financial analysis of any sort of statements or something, but going through those manual processes which we also do during our course of audit. So I already have some prompts which are ready. I'll just paste the first prompt on the ChatGPT window. So let me just maybe give a minute's introduction of what a prompt is and what am I doing exactly here. So as I said earlier, every AI tool requires a brain to respond, which was your large language model. But every AI tool also needs some input as well as needs to understand what language the input is. In the traditional sense, it used to be the binary and all those things. So here, due to the power of natural language processing, it is able to process what naturally we speak as humans. It can be any language, any dialect, and it will understand that. So right now, I've started with the first thing. Let's say I have to perform a statutory audit of a private company which is engaged in selling of computer parts. The first step over here would be to draft engagement letter for the statutory audit. And also here on, I'll have to specifically instruct this AI, because let me just tell you, as Dhaval also mentioned earlier, that this is general AI. We are still not at the stage of a super intelligent AI. And the general AI is essentially what we say as it has a knowledge about everything. So we have to limit its scope in some manner in order to prevent some sort of incorrect responses, which we call it as hallucinations. So here I have specifically instructed the AI that the language should be professional. Marketing or promotional language as per the code of ethics of our institute is prohibited. The engagement letter should be strictly in accordance with the relevant standards of auditing as per ICAI in this case. So the moment I hit enter here, what's going to happen is that it's going to gather all sorts of data from its natural language processing, the large language model, the brain, the storage, wherever it has trained itself from, and give me the entire engagement letter, which is specific to the firm which I've mentioned here, which is ABC and Sons Private Limited, selling computer parts and all that thing. And you should also note over here that I have only written that the engagement letter should be in accordance with relevant standards. I have not specifically mentioned which standards on auditing am I talking about. So here in the response, it has given me the standard also, that it has gathered all that data and drafted an engagement letter based on SA 210. So if I just go through this particular letter, it will give me the area which I have to fill later on. I can just copy and paste this in my document, in my template, in my office folder, wherever I want, and I can customize it as per my requirements. So the date option here has been left empty. The board of directors, ABC Sons, subject letter is there. The basic introduction para with the objective of audit, scope of audit, what the management's responsibility is, what the auditor's responsibility is, what are the reporting requirements, the professional fees for this assignment, what sort of inherent limitations of audit, limitation of liability, other matters, confirmation of acceptance. So it has given me the entire structure of an engagement letter, which either in the past I would have to manually draft it first, check for any errors, polish it a little bit, and then use it. So it is in that sense saving us a lot of times. Now, what's going to happen here is once the engagement letter is done, let's say the company accepted everything and we are ready to do the audit. So I'll be covering the internal control system of an audit over here. So for that purpose, I also have another prompt, which I'll just paste it here just a moment. So here in the chat, continuing in this particular chat only, I'll just paste another prompt. Here, we'll be moving a step forward. I'll start saying that, okay, I've started the audit of this particular company, and the company has the following internal control system. It has the following people, and this is their roles and responsibilities. So first of all, we have the manager who's overseeing the entire process, having complete authority over every department and all those things. Then we have a cashier who's responsible for day-to-day receipts and payment-related work. He provides the invoices to the customer. He transfers a copy of invoices or expenses which he has incurred to the accountant of the firm, which brings us to the third person, who is the accountant. The accountant here is responsible for data entry and related operations. So the cashier will give all the receipts and all those things to the accountant. The accountant will enter it in their accounting system. Then we have also a sales agent who is responsible for selling the product. And the sales agent has a permission to discount up to 5% of the products to the customer. So any discount above 5%, which the sales agent will try to provide, he'll have to take an approval from the manager. And then finally, we have a customer care agent who's responsible for warranty claims and repairs. Now, why have I taken this particular use case over here is that a lot of times, even the smallest of the private companies or family-owned businesses, they might not have documented internal control policies, procedures, or all those things. But here, as a chartered accountant, it would be our job or a chartered accountant or CPA, it would be our job to basically explain to this chat GPT that what we are auditing in the simplest of the language there can be. The moment I hit enter over here, what's going to happen? It's going to evaluate the internal control, and it's going to give me the strengths which are there in the internal control currently. It's going to give me the weaknesses which are there in the internal control. So, for example, the strengths, we have defined roles and responsibility. There's an authorization hierarchy that any discount above 5% will require manager's approval. Document flow, all these things are there. But then when we come to the weaknesses, there is excessive power with the manager. He's basically overarching the control over all departments, creating override of control. Cashier handles both the receipts as well as invoices. The possibility of suppression of cash or manipulation of sales record cannot be verified independently. There's not a maker-checker system in accounting. If the accountant is the only person who's entering the data and there's no review mechanism, there's an increased risk of error and fraud. So on and so forth. It has given me around seven to eight weaknesses of the internal control system. Based on that, without me telling what to do next, it has given me an entire audit checklist, which I can then give it to my staff, or when I'm performing the audit myself, I can just follow this checklist to evaluate the general controls, evaluate controls with respect to sales and discount, cash and receipts, accounting, data entry, and any other area which we have already mentioned in our previous prompt, which are included in there. So based on that, it can also give me a generated checklist. If I just simply write that, please generate a Word document of the checklist or an Excel file of that checklist, it's going to do that as well. But I'll have to move to the other portion of this other side of the coin here. Once the audit is done, once we are done with every sort of execution of the audit procedure and everything, I'll just paste the next prompt over here. So let's say we followed this checklist, we completed our audit, and we have some sort of conclusion there. Now I have again two options. One, I already have generated an entire audit report, and now I want to change a specific para. Like we have the emphasis of matter paragraph as per standards on auditing here in ICAI. And that emphasis of matter, I want to give to segregation of duty. I'm not modifying my opinion, but still, I want to basically mention that in my audit report, and this seems to be the right para for that. So I'll do both the things first. So I'll first of all write here that generate an independent audit report as per SA 700 of ICAI also generate the emphasis of matter para in that audit report itself. The moment I hit enter, it's going to start generating the independent auditor's report as per the format which is required by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In this case, in your country, if it's another institution, you have to just follow the standards of that institution or any regulatory body. It will automatically source all that data as to what is required, and it will draft you the paragraph accordingly. So we have the opinion para, the basis of opinion para, emphasis of matter para, it is incorporated over here, specifically focusing on segregation of duties, that the manager has control over all departments. It results in lack of adequate segregation of duty, but our opinion is not modified in that matter. So it has given me all those things which are there. Key audit matter, we didn't specifically mention anything about it. So it has just given us a blank dashboard as to if you want to include something, we can do it. Otherwise, it's not applicable in case of unlisted entity, because I've mentioned in the first prompt that this was a private company engaging in computer parts and something like that. So key audit matter is not applicable in this case. So from the beginning of the audit, when we draft an engagement letter, to the execution of audit, where instead of having a large language model execute or financially analyze an financial statement or something, which can also be done. But this way, you can do an audit in a more guided manner. When the checklist is generated with you, you just follow the checklist, to follow whatever is given, whatever insights are there. And based on that, once you're done with your audit, it can also generate the report. Here, I didn't have to always give the response as to it's a private company, it's engaged in this, it's engaged in that. That's the beauty of machine learning. That's the beauty of AI. It remembers everything which we have discussed till now, and it's going to add up onto that knowledge. So this is essentially what a basic walkthrough of how you can kind of make your audit more efficient and enhance the quality of your service as well, right? So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. From this, your elaboration and presentation, I definitely can say that this is very helpful for us, because audit days are now at the peak, because stat audits are going to start. And how CA GPT it's going to help us, you have described us, demonstrated it very precisely. But sir, the just GPT, CA Chat GPT is a generalized platform, right? Everybody can use it. Everybody can get the data out of it. But as a chartered
Yes.
accountant, is there any way we can customize the GPT for the CS?
100% Preeti. We can customize a GPT as well, and we'll definitely deep diving into understanding how a GPT can be customized and how our own database, uploading our own database to a model can make a difference. But before we jump to that, I just have a couple of quick questions. I see a couple of
Yes, sir.
participants have asked some questions, so I'll just quickly answer a couple of them, which I feel pretty much relevant. So I think Alama, what you're asking is basically what difference a CA GPT can do. So I'll just tell you a fundamental thing. Whenever you're understanding about any large language model, it is very important to understand that any large language model has not been designed for a specific purpose. For example, when an OpenAI has developed a chat GPT, or for that matter, any company around the world has developed any LLM model, their entire audience was not just a CPA or a healthcare professional or a lawyer or any other legal professional. So the point of developing an LLM is to perform a specific task on a specific database, no matter what data you want to share. So when I'm saying that, sir, why ChatGPT is better than my ChatGPT? So you have to understand the fundamental difference. When you're doing any task on a ChatGPT, the database based on which that answers will be given to a user is basically a generalized World Web database, which is not specifically vetted, not reviewed, not reconciled. As it is, it gives you the answer. There may be a chances of those answers being incorrect as well. However, when you're talking about a customized GPT, or rather a CA GPT that our institute has created, that the database at the back end of that CA GPT is entirely relevant, weighted, reviewed, and then only updated onto the backend knowledge base into the GPT. So that is a fundamental difference that you have to understand why our CA GPT will be always better than a generalized chat GPT. Moving ahead, I think some people are also asking that whether the client's data will be safe on this platform. So Imanshu definitely will be addressing this entire point about data confidentiality, ethics, how my data is secured or not secured, and how we can anonymize our database as well before we share this database on any of our platforms. We'll be addressing that at the end of the conversation. So hold on about your thoughts. Moving ahead, since other questions are more generalized, we'll take those questions at the later stage. Moving back to our presentation flow, so what we are going to understand, participants now, is how AI can also help me in doing a lot of my taxation computation as well, a lot of my tax work as well. And since we are on the same topic, and since Dharmender sir and a lot of other Tanzania chapter member has also requested that we wanted to add some flavor about getting some relevant stuff about the Tanzania as well. So I'm going to show you a quick use case wherein how any web-based AI model as well can help me as a CPA to do a quick tax computation for my client. So I've just created a small use case wherein we are going to just take up that facts of the case and give a small prompt to a AI tool, and we're going to see how that tax computation will be done by that specific tool, which will be exactly in line with the Tanzania's tax rules, which again, I'm sure my friends in Tanzania will be able to vet it from that point of view, as you guys are the domain expert, but you will at least get a flavor of how it works. So let's get straight away to that. I'm sure my screen is visible to you for, till now. Great, great. So what we're gonna do now, as I said, I'm gonna just ask a blank query to this perplexity.ai, which is again a large language model tool. The only difference between the ChatGPT and the Perplexity is that Perplexity is majorly a web-based focus first model, versus the ChatGPT also had its own knowledge base, which is being updated to some data point. Post that they also support you with the web search feature. But again, the Perplexity is completely web-based model, so it's going to help you a lot while scrapping the web and giving you the relevant answers as well. So let's first understand, okay, sir, what tax scenario I'm planning to take it here. So I'm sure my screen is visible to you with the use case. So we'll first discuss and understand, sir, what exactly use case we are going to do. And while we understand this use case, we are also going to understand how a prompt needs to be written, because guys, no matter what AI tool you're going to use, the difference that you will see between your answers and our answers is basically the kind of prompt that we write, the kind of prompt that needs to be written. And mind you, in today's era, writing a prompt is also a skill set that a CPA needs to acquire. So let's just first understand quickly this prompt. Then we are going to shoot up this prompt into that AI tool, and we'll observe the quick answers about that. And I'm sure my friends in Tanzania will be vetting and at least saying true or false about that in the chat box, so that we get to understand the correctness of the answers as well. So let's understand this computation. What I have written in the first line: you are an income tax consultant, which means what? I'm basically giving a quick persona to my AI tool, that AI tool needs to behave as an income tax consultant and prepare a quick tax computation for Mr. John. And we have taken a small example where Mr. John is a resident of Tanzania, working as an employee for a private company there. His salary is around 1.5 million shillings. In addition to his salary, he's having some rental income of 100,000 shillings, and then he's also receiving some 200K per month as interest income from the deposits, and he's contributing around 100,000 per month as well to the national security. So let me first quickly share this screen so that you all are able to understand what I'm talking about as well. Yeah. So yeah, can you see the quick use case now on my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, we can see.
Great. So this is what I was talking about, that this is a quick example we're going to take about Mr. John having a residency in Tanzania, and earning so and so salary, getting some rental income, earning some monthly interest income from the bank deposits as well. And he has some contribution that he's making to the National Social Security Fund as well. So that's what the question we have considered here. And if you again observe on the prompt, I think earlier the screen was not visible. So this is where I was talking about that we are first defining the role, then giving the task to the AI, then giving the scenario, and then throwing up a question that what exactly is my expectation is about. So I'm going to pull up this quick prompt here. I'm going to go to my AI tool. Can you all see the AI tool page as well here? Great. So I'm going to paste my comment here, prompt here, and let's understand first thing. Does this Perplexity has the knowledge of Tanzanian tax laws? No. Is it a Tanzania's tax law specific AI tool? No. Then let's understand how still it's going to give the answer. That is where the web scraping capability lies. So what it's going to do, we're going to observe that, but first I'm going to hit up the prompt, then we'll observe how it has given the answer to us. So let's quickly hit up the prompt here. So it's going to try and create some plan about this, that this is a task given to this tool. I'm going to calculate John's annual salary, income based on his monthly salary, so on and so forth. And the program is going to run. And let's see how it performs its programming. It's going to take a couple of seconds time, and let it perform that till the time we'll quickly see. Yeah, so it has started popping up the answer. Before we jump to the answer, guys, I just want all of you to first focus on a couple of things on the answer steps. I'm sure the screen is pretty much visible to all of you. So can you all see there are quick sources that we are able to get on top of my screen. So the first thing source, I think you all will be recognizing this portal than any other person here. So this is the exact tax portal of your Tanzania government that has been fetched first. Based on whatever the data must be there, the tax laws, the entire taxation structure must be there uploaded, whatever the recent tax laws were there. Based on that, it might have taken out those tax slabs and it has started computing as well. There are other sources as well, but I think we all should be focusing upon more source of truth, the most verifiable and trustworthy source, which in this case would be obviously the Revenue Authority of Tanzania. So let's now quickly review the answer as well. So it has first computed its monthly salary, annual salary, rental income, interest income. It has given me the quick total annual income of an assessee. So this is how the total income is arriving at. Moving ahead, it has also computed his annual NSSF contribution as well. And then it has went into understand and compute the taxable income, which is what right now coming to around 25 million rupees. 25 million Tanzanian shillings. Moving ahead, then it is started computing the tax liability. So I'm sure you all must be observing there are some tax slabs that it has picked up, and it has started applying those tax rate based on the slabs which must be active right now in Tanzania. I'm sure this must be more or less in line with you are correct, right, sir? Yes, the Dharmendra sir has acknowledged it's more or less right. So I think that gives us a trust factor, because again, you all should always be verifying the answers given by the AI. So as I said in the initial discussion, it's still a strong AI, not even as good as a human intelligence. So our responsibility in terms of using AI tool also increases in terms of verifying that information. So as we have verified the information, so can you see now it has started computing the tax, and at the end of it, I've got that Mr. John's taxable income is so and so, his total tax liability comes to so and so shillings. So that is how the beauty about the AI tool is. And mind you, guys, this is again not just one benefit of an AI. There are n number of benefits that you can see which can help us to scrap the web, gain the knowledge, and based on that knowledge, perform the task as well. So I'm sure you might have been amazed about this, but again, it's a basic model which works upon scrapping the web, understanding the knowledge from that web page, performing that task based on that knowledge base, the way a human would work, the way we apply our own logic. We apply our logic, we enhance our knowledge, and then we take a decision, and then we perform our task. It's exactly similar manner how any large language model would work. And that is the beauty about the AI tools. And again, does that mean, sir, is this only limited to a specific language? So no, it can definitely give you the answer in any language as well. So for example, if I just try to modify this, let me try a new conversation. And in new conversation, what I'm going to do, I'm going to similarly paste the same question, but this time I'm going to ask you to maybe please reply in, let's say, my local language. Let's say in Swahili. Right? If I'm pronouncing it right, Swahili. So let's see if it's going to respond to me in my local language as well. So that is where you're going to understand the basic language preference as well, that this is not just limited to the English language. It can understand your basic native language as well. And let's see how the answers would come. And maybe Dharmendra ji, if you are aware about the language Swahili reading, you can recognize and confirm us. Or if you have Mr. Paus as well, he can confirm as well.
The word is correct. Swahili language is the official language, although they are using both English and Swahili.
Swahili, correct.
Yes.
But does this seems right? If you can just confirm at least heading part.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Manan, you are on mute. So this is by
Yes, it
body
is right.
language saying correct.
Mr.
It is
First,
right.
it's
Correct. Thank you
right,
so much.
right.
Thank you
Right.
so
So
much.
that's the advantage again. So you might feel that, okay, maybe if the language is a barrier. So no, sir, maybe sometimes AI can speak much better language than our own, we all can speak. So that's again a beauty about this. And I think with that, we can quickly also now go ahead into understanding. Okay, so this is just general things that we have understood. Now let me just go more into deeper diving in understanding how these GPTs, how these AI agents can help me in my office as well by creating a custom AI or creating a custom GPT. So over to you, Priti and Rishi.
To the surprising factor, now we have, I guess, settled the queries down because lots of queries were there. Is it only going to answer in a English language, or there are any kind of other languages are there? So there were queries, and queries were there in the chat box also. So we have
I
settled
think
down
all
the
of
lots of
the
queries. All of
answer,
that they
right?
were looking for is the chat GPT is going to answer in our language, or is there only answer going to be in English language only?
And
So it was
just to add to that,
surprising.
not answer, you can even speak to your in native
Right, right,
language and
right.
it
That's
will
what I
answer
mean.
to in the native language as well.
Yeah, you can answer in a Punjabi, Hindi, Tamil, Bengali, in any language you want to touch. Plus,
In
you can verbally interact with the GPT also. You can read out the queries, you can read out the answers also. And moreover, after this, I guess practical exposure, ChatGPT is going to help you out. Perplexity is going to help us out. Moreover, we CAs are more into the pitch of the client, right? We every time we're going to pitch the client, we have to prepare the presentation, and it's a very lengthy process. Lots of tools are there, lots of things are there, and Word, PowerPoint is also there, but it's a lengthy process. Rishi sir, is there any easy process or AI tool is there so that you will make the process easy for us?
Right. So before we go to the presentation related portion, basically that would be something of a cherry on the cake. I think I'd like to answer a few of the queries which are there, especially with regards to customized GPT for a CA or a CPA. So there's a
Hmm.
question of, okay, so first of all, I think it's a statement that the better prompt we do or the better prompt we give to the AI engine, the better answer it will give. So that's very much true as it's true for the other technologies also. There's an entire rule called garbage in and garbage out. If your input is incorrect, if your input is not complete, your output, no matter how good the model is, it's going to be completely terrible. So I think that answers that question. And in terms of the another question that ChatGPT gives a disclaimer that the details of the queries or anything, the decisions should not depend on ChatGPT entirely. I think Dhavalji answered very accurately that any information, especially the factual information which is being generated by ChatGPT or any AI tool, should be verified first with proper sources. If it's done, if it's well, then that's good enough. If it's not, then we can also retrain it. We can just simply ask it to give us the correct data. It's just like you're messaging another person or you're talking to another person. So I think that answers that question as well. Now, before we move to the presentation related portion, I'd like to specifically cover the customized setting or a role of professional in CA and CA GPT as asked by one of the participants over here. So I'll just share my screen with respect to that. Just a moment. Yes. So is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Screen is visible. Please adjust it accordingly.
Okay. Okay, I think it's not fully visible
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
not
Just give
fully
me a
visible.
moment. Yeah, I think now it's okay.
Yes, sir. Visible.
So let me just welcome you to CAGPT itself. So the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India have created certain custom GPTs for the use of its members as well as the members of the foreign chapter. So if you're a chartered accountant who's registered with the institute, you can simply log in using your email ID or your mobile number for residential members, and they can just get an OTP, and that's an entire verification based tool which you can start. So let me just take you through the dashboard of the CAGPT. It's nothing but 75 years of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India's knowledge base converted into AI. What they have done here is based on every committee which is there in the institute, they have created all that background material since the past 75 years, which has been there. They have all converted it up into digital format, uploaded it here as a knowledge base. What it's doing here is that like ChatGPT is a very general tool. If we get back to the dashboard of ChatGPT, you can see it's a general tool. If I just simply write anything, it's going to give me suggestions. Like, for example, how to cook. It's going to give me a perfect suggestion for different kind of dishes which is there. So it knows everything. But what do I do if I have regulators and standard setters with me, and I need to ensure that my work, my report is in accordance with the requirements of that regulator, that standard setter. We cannot afford to let the GPT go here and there and bring all sorts of data which is not even relevant to us. So for that purpose itself, now this is something which you can create at your home itself. There's an entire tab for creating a custom GPT in your profile. This is available in the Plus version, but there is an entire tab for that. And we'll not go into detail for that because we have a lot to cover here. What it does is, essentially, if I can go here and you can see there are multiple options which are available in front of us. These are the different committees of the institute. And then when we scroll down over here, we have certain international GPTs which have also been introduced, starting with the UAE VAT GPT by ICAI and the UAE Corporate Tax Assistant. We can have any sort of working-based calculations, queries, any sort of analysis with respect to this corporate tax of UAE through this GPT. And then we have the industry forum. What this is that in India, there are a lot of these listed entities which have been listed on stock exchanges and all those platforms. What ICAI has done, they have gathered around 5,000 listed entities, divided it based on the industry in which they belong. It can be air transport, automobile, banking industry, bearings industry, and so on and so forth. We have crude oil, natural gas, mining industry. What it has done is it has uploaded the financial reports of all these listed entities from the scratch, the complete annual report, the complete data. They have uploaded it as a knowledge base in this CHGPT. And from that, you or me, people like us can access that data, can learn from that data, can put our situation in that data and analyze what should happen. So, for example, I'll just take a very simple example. I'll just go and find jewelry here. So there is an ICAI Diamond Gems Jewelry AI analyst. Once I open this, it will again bring me back to the chat GPT. But this time, instead of having a new chat, which was earlier there, now you can see the name of the custom GPT which we are in. This is very much relevant and custom only to the industry of diamond, jewelry, and gems. Now, don't be fooled, because this GPT can also answer other questions. So if I just simply ask what day it is or what's the weather over this place, or basically something like write me a poem or write me a song, it will still be able to do it because of the inherent capabilities of ChatGPT. So to sum it up, what it does is ChatGPT is an entire application. In that entire application, there are various applications, sub-applications like we have in our phones, Play Store or App Store. So this is one of that application. Now, for example, if I have a client where I have to understand about how the raw gold, or basically the crude oil, or basically what raw diamonds will be valued at. So I'll just simply write down a prompt that I have a client engaged in the business of gems. What are the policies on valuation of such gems? What it's going to do is it's going to look into the relevant accounting standards, auditing standards, whichever there is. As it has already mentioned, accounting standard 2, Indian accounting standard 2, or when we talk about globally, IFRS 2. And it has given us that the inventory should be measured at cost or NRV, whichever is lower, net realizable value. Methods of determining the cost it has given us. And in terms of the entire disclosure, GST implication, RBI customs valuation in terms of export, import, everything it has given. But at the end of it, it has also mentioned the name of the listed entity, Asian Star Rajesh Export. There are a couple of listed entities are there, where in their accounting policy, what the auditors have mentioned, they have given it to us also. So this is one more way to refer to a particular GPT or to ask a particular GPT a particular question. Another example I'll just go back to the CA GPT. Now, what I'll do is instead of taking industry-wise GPT, I'll go a little bit into the committee-wise GPTs which are there. So we have, for example, Ethical Standards Board of ICAI. Now, by the name suggests, this GPT includes all the relevant information, publication, guidelines, code of ethics, everything which is there, which guides a chartered accountant in India. So if I have a question like, what all can I not mention in the visiting card? It's going to give me the entire details, picking up search. So it's saying searching the knowledge. It'll pick up all the details from ICAI's code of ethics, this and that. It's going to give me the response. So think of it in a way that instead of opening up a book and reading through the pages, you're directly asking the model to give you the exact excerpts and give it to you in the manner you want. So it's not giving me word by word like that. It's going to give me in a simple language, simply saying that you can do this or you cannot do this. Based on that, it can basically ease up my work, help me much more in informed decision making and all those things. So just like we have ethical standard, we have direct tax committees, indirect, all these things are there. Excuse me. So all these things are hosted at the ai.icai.org's website, which I'd like to take you at the last. What we have made here is that created a resource base where we have various articles on global AI changes happening around. Like you can see the article is from yesterday. ChatGPT recently unveiled image model in that, which essentially improved the generation of image capabilities. The text are being correct and all those things are there. Similar to that, for our chartered accountants, we also have an entire videos library and use case library, which is from ICS hackathon events, which are just these 2-3 hour seminars where CAs from all across the country have 10 minutes to present their own use cases. So maybe if I have not covered anything over here, for instance, and you need to still know about it. For example, if I need to know about Excel working or Python working or any sort of integration using a robot process automation, I can just go ahead, search on this, and there will be 10 minutes videos guiding you just the way I'm guiding you right now as to what prompt is to be kept, what tool is to be used, what response would be there, what questions we have to take, and all those things. So this is an entire what do I say, a plethora of data which is there, which has been collected by the institute, and it's hosted on this particular website. And that essentially brings us to the custom GPT related portion, which the institute created. Now, with respect to the presentation and financial information, the financial, if you have a financial statement or if you have anything to present, it's a presentation or a proposal or anything, I think Dhavalji would like to continue with that respect, because I've already taken a lot of time over here. So yes, over to you, Priya ma'am and Preeti ma'am and Dhaval.
Sir, I guess I was reading the queries from the chat box, and many of the queries were answered because the query was why we need to use the CA GPT and not the chat GPT. And that was a very prominent, concise answer from your side and Dhaval sir answer also, that we need to use the CA GPT because that's a customized GPT for the chartered accountants. And chat GPT is a generalized platform and it's for everyone. Right. Before going for the, I guess, financial presentation, sir, it is important that we can take two or three queries in between.
Well, definitely, Preeti, I have already answered most of the queries,
Yeah, I've
whatever
seen
was
that you
coming.
have answered
So,
many
so the
queries.
members might have got, I have already answered 29 plus queries. So I think most of the queries I've answered. There are people who are asking a couple of queries related to, let's say, how to learn VBA with the help of ChatGPT. So see, a lot of specific queries. I know you guys will be flooded with the n number of thoughts in your mind right now. But definitely, with the limited time that we have right now, I want to cover that use case first. But yes, in case of any further question, you are happy to reach out to the local partner, local chapter, or the AI committee here as well. We'll be happy to answer those questions as well. But let me quickly move to the entire the last use case, which is a cherry on the top, but not the least. So we'll quickly move to that, and we're going to understand that. See, a lot of time as a chartered accountant, we have to prepare multiple reports, financial reports. We have to prepare the financial data in a much more presentable manner to the management, to the board, to the n number of stakeholders. So we're going to quickly understand that how I can use any of the AI tool, wherein I can simply pull up the tables of a financial statements like balance sheet or P&L and ask any AI tool quickly to prepare me a nice presentation, which will be much better presentable in terms of quality of the content, in terms of quality of the design. Because as a chartered accountants, we may lack a lot of times in terms of designing presentations in a much better manner. So that is where a content development or maybe a content presentation skills can be overcome with the help of an AI. So that's where we're going to quickly see this demo. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this tool called as Gamma, wherein we are going to quickly import a file, which will be more or less like a financial statement, a table format of a financial statement. And we're going to run through a quick prompt, which is going to help us to create a nice presentation out of this basic 4 or 5 pager balance sheet and P&L. So as you can see, I've simply imported that PDF document. I'm going to create a presentation based on this PDF document. It's going to ask me to select a couple of tools. So based on the quick OCR-based recognition of a textual information, it has extracted that entire text from the PDF statement. I'm going to simply write up a small prompt again, which is going to maybe help me prepare a quick financial performance summary based on the attached financial statement. Let's say for the investor presentation here, a lot of time at the year end, the companies do prepare an investor presentation based on their basic financial statements. So that can be one use case here to prepare a quick presentation. We're gonna do a couple of settings here, which we all can maybe get into the details of this later as well. But just to give you a quick flavor that how an AI generated or AI backed presentation tool would also work. So this is how I have extracted that information from my PDF statement. I'm gonna quickly proceed ahead to select, let's say, a number of slides here. This is how the number of slide looks like at the bottom of the page. I'm gonna select, let's say, 8 slides. I'm gonna click on the continue. This is the page. I'm gonna just quickly select the theme of the presentation that I would like. I'll quickly select one lighter theme so that it's easier for us to review as well. And that's it. I'm gonna quickly ask this Gamma to prepare a quick presentation for me. And within a fraction of a second, it's gonna run through that entire document of 4 pages, extracted information, put up that information on each of the slides. Based on the content of that each specific page, it is also gonna relevant image is gonna be generated by the AI tool. And in a fraction of a couple of minutes, which otherwise would take my team at least 4, 5, 6 hours to prepare the financial statement presentation, show it to me. Then there's a back and forth gonna happen. We are gonna make a lot of changes. So all that can be automated in a fraction of a couple of seconds with the help of an AI tool. That is how you can see. So I'll quickly scroll through. This is how that quick presentation has been generated. You all will see the quick images are also more or less relevant to the content that has been added to that specific image. You all will see all these images. You might feel that these images are very much real images of maybe taken of somebody which is real in existence. But guys, trust me, these are all AI generated images which may look alike exactly the way we have in actual images. So that is how quick image has been generated. A quick structure about liability of the company has been created. A quick expense breakdown has been created based on the P&L. A key financial ratios has been created based on the attached PDFs, so on and so forth. So that's the beauty about the AI tools, and that's the beauty about how AI coupled with a lot of use case application can do wonders to us. And as I can see, I can tell you one last time, the more we use AI tools in our practice, the more it's going to help us to reduce our time in terms of doing manual labor jobs, doing mundane tasks, and it's going to automate n number of tasks for us. And I think with that, we are going to quickly conclude today's webinar in terms of hands-on. And over to Priti and over to Ishi.
Yes, sir. Hands-on was much necessary for all of us to learn how we are going to use it. But we have gone through many practical cases, many practical scenarios, and these all are the benefits and advantages as per the chartered accountant. And we need to use the AI. That is dead sure. That thought process that came in our mind. That means we have to use this AI into our practice, into day-to-day routine. But is there any challenges also? Is there any flaws or challenges, consequence also we need to face as a chartered accountant into AI?
Right. So I'll just link that to another question which some of the participants have had. What about client data? How much confidential is these kind of AI tool, and what can we do about all that? So at the onset, let me just say that in terms of privacy and confidentiality, one thing which you should practice is just hide the personally identifiable information, right? So, for example, in case of a social security number, that's a personally identifiable information. There can be two people having the same name. There can be multiple financial figures of like this. Two different companies can have similar profits, similar revenues, and all those things are there. But there is one or two those personally identifiable informations which you should hide. And let me just share my screen right now over here in terms of the entire presentation which we had. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so I hope the screen is visible with you. Right, so first of all, what are the challenges and limitations? AI requires amount of data which it needs to process. If we give a simple prompt, a one-liner prompt, that please do this or please do that. It's not going to comprehensively understand what you want it to do. And in that manner, it's just going to do a little bit of everything. And that's definitely something which you don't want. Now, in terms of another problem or basically another limitation which is there right now, for example, if I want to upload some financials, Dhaval uploaded 4 or 5 pages of financials, that's okay. But what if I have around 15,000 pages or 20,000 pages? Who knows? There can be n number of pages, and in the world of these basically soft format reporting and all those things, a paperless office. The point here is that at the current stage in the AI industry, all these tools have certain inherent limitations in terms of handling that kind of data. It may give you accurate results for, let's say, a first couple of 100 pages, maybe even 1,000 pages, but then it's going to start losing its accuracy for that. So again, we'll have to use data analytic tools for that and not AI. Now, there was another question over here that what are the ethical concerns? I think that I've already covered here, that we should definitely try to redact the personally identifiable information. And in any scenario, we should never basically give any sort of data which to an AI tool which we don't have a global credibility with. Right. So you can definitely search that out on Google, on the internet, what AI tools are currently. So that's another whole area of domain which you can have a long discussion on as well. Now, we have another question over here, which says that can we work with the free version of ChatGPT or for CAGPT or otherwise also, or do we need to purchase the paid version? So let me just answer it very clearly. Even Gamma app, which was used recently for the presentation and everything, Perplexity, which was there, ChatGPT, which was there, all these are similar tools. All these are just various alternative tools which are available and at your disposal. And because there is such high number of tools, there's always a free version for all of that. So, like for example, in ChatGPT or in Perplexity, you get a daily number of prompts. Daily, you can ask 10 questions, 20 questions, 50 questions, whatever it may be. So based on that, though there's no need for buying a plus version of ChatGPT or plus version of any tool, you can still use CAGPT with ChatGPT in the free version itself. Right. So I think, do we have any more questions which we need to cater? Are we nearly out of time? I think we have a couple of minutes. We can cater to these questions, right? Dhaval, would you like to answer some of them?
Sure. So I think a couple of questions people ask is, sir, I did like about the presentation. We really want to have this presentation with us. So see, guys, definitely you would get this recording and a recorded session on the YouTube as well as on the AICS website. So you all can go through that session on your pace as well. But on top of it, again, these things are more once you do the hands-on practice, that's how you will improve as well. The ChatGPT, yes, you'll have to get a subscription to get the better services. And moving ahead, yes, it will help in a lot of other practice areas as well, as including fraud detection as well, pattern analysis as well, and the predictive analysis as well. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Adam, for appreciating. We hope we added a lot of value in today's whatever the short time that was allotted, and I'm sure you all will be able to use these AI tools and ensure that it helps a lot in terms of your future practice and will save you a number of long hours that you must be putting in manually. So that's it from my side. Preeti, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. I guess this session reminded me that the AI is not here to replace us. It's here to assist us and elevate us. As chartered accountant embracing technology, it's not an optional anymore. It's our path forward towards a smarter audit, shape analysis, and strong decisions. A sincere thanks to all the participants from the India, Tanzania, across the globe, and your presence, energy, engagement makes this webinar true success. Let's today connect and stay curious and continue learning, because the future of the profession is not just about the human, it's human plus intelligence. I guess I like to thank and special thanks to our distinguished leadership ICAI, our partners NBBAI Tanzania, and our incredible AI speakers who have made these concepts relatable and practical for the CA community. And today we're going to close this session, close this evening right now, and officially close this global session. Wishing you all continued success and learning, and have a great evening. And as I used to say in Tanzania, I'm going to say it's right. It's Asante Sana.
Asante sana.
Asante Sana, right. So good evening to the all the Indians and Tanzania, Asante Sana. So I hope I pronounce it right.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
sir?
Yes, Preeti ji.
it was
And
right.
before closing this session, I just want to say something. I think this is the participation is continuously stay on the same. More than 500 participation we have throughout the event,
True, sir.
and we proudly say that this is like more active participation from the member also, as well as this other chapter and the NBA member. And we would like to present the memento to our eminent speakers and you, Preeti ji. I would like to share my screen. Hope everybody can see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
So, crafted on the Tanzanian board. So this we are presenting here, but we will send to India also to all of you. This is for Mr. Dhaval, and we have
Thank you. Appreciate it.
to Rishi also, see Rishi Soni, and
Thank you, sir.
to Preeti Nagi as well. So
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
thank you so much for all your really
Well, applause.
active and practical session. I think everybody enjoy, including Mr. Maneno. He is
yes, yes, yes.
stayed whole event. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
And
Thank
hopefully we
you.
will do more session in future, including the advanced level, because the basic level is done. Hopefully we will plan again the advanced level in coming months.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And
Definitely,
special
sir.
thank to Vishnu ji. He is, I think, joined now.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
all of
Bye.
you. See you. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Recording stopped.